Welcome back, everybody, and happy freaking Thursday. My name is Emma G. I am a singer, songwriter, author of the book My Life, My Songs, My Healing. I am also an artist coach, empowering teenagers to use their voice through the magical healing powers of music and songwriting. And of course, today I'm running a podcast called The Songs Changed My Life. And who better to join me than my Iranian brother from another mother and father. So we're not really related at all, but we're both Iranian, and that makes me happy inside my soul. Alex Alavi, how are you, my friend?
Hey, I'm good. Thank you so much for having me on.
Of course, of course. Before we even get started, I want to know who you are. Tell me about what makes your spirit happy? What is your superpower? And do you like apples?
I do like apples. Put them on peanut butter or vice versa.
Yes, I love peanut butter on apple. The
Yeah.
best. Okay, cool.
What makes me happy? There's a lot of things I like. I like drawing. I'm a cartoonist. I went to school for it and can draw okay. I draw a lot of comics. Um, I like music, obviously. I like the Beatles, especially like '60s rock is like my bread and butter. I know more about the '60s than I think any other decade, including the one we're in, probably. I don't know. It's always been really interesting to me.
I mean, I feel like nobody really knows this decade at the moment because everything's on fire. But yes, I
That's true. It's easier to learn about stuff in retrospect, I guess. And then what else? I like watching basketball. It's what I've been doing during quarantine. I've been watching the Wizards a lot, and we suck, but they're my team, and I love them. And yeah, that's kind of who I am in a nutshell, I think.
that's funny. I actually have a Wizards jersey that has my name on the back. So please don't be
Oh,
dogging the
really?
Wizards. Okay.
Yeah.
I love I'm not a sports person per se because music has always been my life. However, during quarantine, as opposed to what is it, gaining the quarantine 10, I've lost the quarantine 45, which has been really fun. But as a result, my partner likes watching basketball. So I've been watching a little bit of basketball, and I was super impressed with how quickly they pivoted to like the Zoom audience screens. That tripped me the F out. It was crazy. Have you
Yeah.
like
I think they're doing cardboard cutouts too. You know,
it's
they
nuts.
the NBA I thought handled the pandemic the best out of all the major leagues. They had
Yeah.
the bubble, and they're gonna have the bubble again this year once it gets to the playoffs. And there was very little. There's like almost no problems with COVID when they were in the bubble. Like, I don't think anybody got it. Maybe one person. I'm not sure. Um, I don't know. I think it's a money thing. They want to have people in the stands to make money, but what are you gonna do? Get everyone sick? Then you won't have a fan base anymore. You know,
It's crazy.
can't watch basketball if you're dead.
I've heard it's bad for your health to be
Yeah,
dead. Yeah,
yeah.
it makes
So I've
things
heard,
very
yeah.
difficult by and large. Okay, so tell me about yourself as a musician. Like, who is Alex Alavi, the musician?
I don't know, man. I think I'm kind of. I don't think I like to take myself too seriously. I used to write autobiographically, primarily. When I was younger, and I had, I guess, more. I don't know. My feelings were. I couldn't express myself in my regular life that well, so I did it, through my songs more. I think that's pretty common. And as I gotten older, I guess maybe, especially certainly this year, I don't have too many experiences going on, right? I'm just at my house. Now I kind of write a lot of stories. I like to write stories that, I still want them to be emotional, and maybe I learn life or whatever in there. But it's not always about me directly. I've kind of strayed away from that a little bit. I still occasionally do that, but I don't know why I've just gotten more into story songs recently. And
Okay.
my influences are like '60s groups like Beatles. I love the band. Uh, Modern groups. I like the Kooks, the White Stripes. I don't know. I just like rock and roll. Anything with a guitar in it. If you have a guitar in your band or your song or whatever, I'm like probably gonna like it, you know. I love guitar music.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So, I mean, you mentioned you're much more moving into a story-based approach to your songwriting, especially as we try to figure out how to navigate our creative process when there's nothing going on in the world. I mean,
Yeah,
everything's on fire and everything's
right,
perfect and nothing's perfect at the moment. It's super
right.
weird. Uh, can you tell me what was the inspiration behind this particular song we're discussing tonight, which is called A Scream and a Song?
Yeah, this one was, I had just moved back from college. I went to college in New York, and I moved back here. I'm in Maryland right now. Um, and there was just a lot of like, you come back during breaks and things, but you don't spend a lot of time. This is the first time I'd spent more than, a summer break back home since I left. And, in high school, I was really kind of messed up. I don't know how else to say. I just didn't like going to school. I always felt like so anxious for no real reason. I just didn't feel comfortable there at all. I'm a cartoonist. I'm a musician. Obviously, I wasn't studying those things in my high school. I wasn't a bad student per se. I did all right, but like, it just felt like I was there because I was forced to be there. There wasn't really any other option. I always hated that. I always resented that, and I couldn't study any of the things I wanted to study. So anyway, but that's a long way of saying there's a lot of tension, in that time of my life. So and in college, it was almost like the opposite. I got to do what I wanted to do. I had a good time. I made a lot of friends, I started dating people that I liked, Um,
That's always
so
nice when you like the people you're dating. I'm
yeah,
a fan.
exactly. So, when I came back, I'd walk down the street and I'd see all these things and it kind of turn up old memories. And all my friends had, most of my friends had moved away from my high school friends, and I was very close with them. I was lucky to have a small, tight knit group of friends. But they moved away, so I wasn't really hanging out with anybody. I didn't know anybody. I was going to open mics, trying to meet people. Didn't really have any success with that at first. Maybe I wasn't going to the right places. I don't know. Maybe I was too shy. Um, so I was lonely and I just missed my friends. And the song is kind of about how I felt terrible in high school and how things that helped me get through high school were music and my friends. And I still have music. I still have my friends, but it's different. It's about things being different.
For sure, for sure. I, I think you hit the nail on the head when it comes to being a creative in high school or in any sort of educational system, and recognizing that there are a lot of holes in what they deliver and how they serve creative people, right? Especially, I mean, I didn't go to college here in the States or even high school here in the States because I'm from New Zealand, and it's a very different educational system there. I'm really, but it's kind of affirming, kind of disheartening at the same time that the same feelings sort of cross relate, regardless of where
Yeah.
you went to school. So
Yeah.
that's intense.
I don't know. I was jealous of people who lived before me that got to leave school at 16 or whatever
Right.
and go work. I'd rather have been working, I think, in a coffee shop than I've been in school, probably. I'm not saying they would have hired me. I was probably too much of a dick, but
We embrace that those negative, negative parts. What was it somebody was saying to me the other, I can't remember what the quote was. It's like we take the it'll come to me at like 3 a.m. in the morning, but like you
right.
take the negative parts of yourself and you just create that as your superpower, because
Yeah.
it's all about perspective. It's all about perspective. Yeah. So tell me, what was your songwriting process behind your song, a song and a scream, or a scream and a song? Sorry.
Um, that one, I think it's like any other one I write pretty much. I'm just sitting in this room usually, um, playing my guitar and I come across a chord change that I like and a rhythm that goes with it, just feels good. And I start saying I turn on the recording app on my phone and I start saying a bunch of nonsense. Then something will stick and I'll build off that idea. So, and in my head, I'm like thinking of, there's like this vague picture of artists that I wanted to sound like. So this one, it was kind of like, there's a Bruce Springsteen element, and there was also Ezra Furman, if you know him, element. Uh, he's like Bruce Springsteen, is where like the kind of high school angst kind of thing, and Ezra Furman is kind of more like a modern version of that. He's been more nasally like I am. Sings about not wanting to take off his sunglasses and things like that. I don't know. So that was that. That was the process, really.
I'm really curious about that because can I be super personal for a minute? How old are you?
I'm 24.
24. Okay. So the reason I ask is because a lot of the clients that I work with get really awkward about being super explorative when it comes to, I call the process word vomit, right? When you sort of just write out whatever's in your head and, whatever, as you said, whatever sticks. But I think a lot of people kind of get like, oh, no, it has to sound perfect the minute that it comes out. Has it always been that easy for you, or was it a process coming to that?
I think for me, that's a personality thing. I would honestly call it a little bit lazy. I don't want to put in the work when I'm starting off to make it sound perfect. It's easier for me to just throw shit at the wall and see what sticks. That's always been
I love that.
That's always been how I write. I always write a lot of songs, and now they're not all great, but you write enough songs, you're gonna get one or two that are pretty good. You write 100, you got to get at least one that's all right. So that was always my mantra. And I always wanted to write a song that I thought would get me, some kind of recognition or something. So if I wrote a song that I thought was good and it didn't get that, I'd be like, well, I gotta try again, I guess, and I just keep going. But yeah, it's always been about the word vomit.
Yeah, I just love word vomit. I think it's a great approach to how to start a song because at least it gets that overwhelm, those complicated thoughts out of your head at least.
Sure.
Was there a specific breakthrough that came to you from writing a scream in a song?
Specific breakthrough. I think it was the first time in a while, maybe ever, that I had written a song that was about me, but wasn't very whiny. Yeah.
Whiny? As in, like, are we talking like Blink-182 whiny? What do you mean by whiny?
Like, I'm so sad. It wasn't about a girl that you wanted to date or you broke up with or whatever. It was just about me and my life. It wasn't really about. I think it was. It wasn't. It was more. It was more about life than I think any of my songs before that were. That makes any sense,
Yeah.
Before maybe I was writing about very specific things. This was just kind of like a general feeling. And this is also probably my first song the first song I can really remember writing as a college graduate, as a an adult, as like, well, this is the rest of my life, there's no script for it, and that kind of means something,
But yeah, that's cool. That's cool. We've got some audience questions coming through, and somebody asked, "Are the black keys in there also?" I don't know if that's a private
I like the black
joke.
keys?
No,
I don't know if I don't. It depends. Asking that, but
sorry.
Yeah, I like the Black Keys. I mean, I remember buying El Camino when I was like 15 and thinking, oh, okay, rock and roll is back. And then they didn't come out with a new album for like another like 6 years. And I was very pissed off about it because I was like, they should be releasing an album a year like they did in the 60s and 70s, not realizing that things don't work that way anymore. So
I wish they did. I wish they did. That's hilarious. So have you had much feedback from this particular song, from your friends and fans and family?
Yeah, I mean, I play it all the time, so they're gonna comment on it in some vein.
Good
Um,
comments or what kind of
yeah, no,
comments?
of course. I remember actually, I have a distinct memory. I was playing it at an open mic at Gypsy Sally's. Um,
Rest in peace.
yeah, rest in peace. And there was a guy there, also named Alex. His artist name is Kikosh, and he's a friend of mine. I would chat with him, and I played that song, and I played it a few times before. And he came, and like I went to talk to him afterwards. He's like, before I didn't get why you played that song so much, and now I get it. And I was like, that's a pretty good compliment, you know. I don't know
Yeah.
if there's no specific. It means more to me probably than anyone else, but yeah, I don't know.
So, I mean, the process of writing songs is incredibly personal, and whether it's telling the stories of others or telling your own story is kind of irrelevant because it's always being spoken and shared in our own voice, right? Is there anything in particular that makes this specific song more representative of who you are or more representative of your growth as a human being, as a musician, as a pillar in the music community? Is there anything about this song that makes it
Yeah,
that important to you?
yeah. I think this was the first song, maybe the only song really that I admitted how weak I felt at times without music. I think a lot of musicians will tell you that music to them is like religion or something like that, and in a lot of ways it is, for me. And yeah, this is the first. I felt very weak, in high school in that specific case, and the things that made me feel strong, was music. I really invested myself in learning the guitar and writing songs, and it was something that I felt good about.
Mm.
Even if I didn't always get great feedback, I couldn't really sing when I first started, and some people might tell you that I still can't. But
Ignore the comments, guys. Ignore the comment section on YouTube always. Yep.
well, when you're small enough like me, all the comments are from people that love you. So um, I read the comments because of that. But yeah, this one I admitted that I felt weak, and that music gave me strength. As cliche as that sounds, that I think that's what makes it special to me.
I love that. I love that. And I think that's really, really important to realize and remember is the power of music that music can have on us in helping us elevate our own thoughts, feelings, emotions, and our strengths, our superpowers, One of the things that I really enjoy about songwriting is, and I say this to all the time to my clients, is we turn the struggle into superpower. So even if you feel like you're small or little or insignificant, the power of the songs that you write can totally shift that mindset for other people. Is that kind of where you're coming from as well?
I think so. I think I'm mostly writing to try to get people to connect with me and each other or whatever. So yeah.
where where do you think that, like, do you have a specific reason why you feel that lack of connection otherwise?
Well, I've gotten better at talking to people since I was a teen, or before that. But I think it maybe, and now I do it for the love of the craft, I guess
Of course.
mostly. But I think originally, yeah, it germed from me being a very shy kid. I remember I was in middle school. I would dream about playing instruments, friend for other people. Not really thinking that that was something I could ever do. I just daydream about it. I thought it would be fun. Because it was a way of being kind of in the spotlight, feeling special, people liking you. I don't know. Everyone wants that, and I was very lucky to have amazing friends all through middle and high school. But when it came to people outside of that friend group, it was kind of a a crapshoot whether or not I'd be able to talk to anybody. And some of it was girls. Everyone wants to impress girls by playing guitar, which did not work at all. But yeah, it stems from a lot of awkwardness, but when you play a song, there's no conversation. You just sing the words that are there, and they listen.
You've no idea how much I relate to that. And that's totally, I mean, not for the girls, obviously, but maybe it's not obvious, just to clarify, not
Sure.
for the girls, but, having had 10 brain surgeries myself, it was always very awkward. I was always that awkward kid who didn't really know how to connect with people. So thank you for being not just my Iranian brother, but also, feeling me on that awkwardness and recognizing that music can definitely change lives. And on that note, let's have a listen to the song, A Scream and a Song. Where did the title come from?
It was one of those things that flowed out when I was doing the word vomit, and I was like, I gotta keep that.
I like it.
And it made a good title.
Cool. Well, let's have a listen.
All right. Gotta hit the mile.
Can you hear that okay?
Hey. Yep.
I went to my school yesterday, tread the tight old grounds. It was quiet in that hallway as I began to make the rounds. I went to that old room upstairs where I had a million conversations. I remember how some people would stare when I would ask a silly question, and how it felt like the first time I'd ever been wrong. I was stuck in the middle of a scream and a song, and I needed something then to make me feel strong and to make me belong. I went back home and I saw my friends that I hadn't seen for a little while. I wondered if things would have changed since then, but they never failed to make me smile. And I remembered the first time I'd ever been wrong. I was stuck in the middle of a scream and a song, and I needed something then to make me feel strong and to make me belong. The first time I'd ever been wrong, I was stuck in the middle of a scream and a song, and I needed something then to make me feel strong and to make me belong.
the crowd goes wild. That was gorgeous. That was gorgeous. So
Yeah.
can I ask, where did the inspiration for the video come from?
That was I was visiting my friend in Macon, Georgia. One of my friends from high school, and joined by another friend of mine from high school, the guy with the beard who flips me off. That's Brendan. And so I went to go visit my friend Matt Mackey, who is a weatherman, and he used to play in my high school band, and he was a weatherman in Macon at the time. Now I think he's at Channel 10 in Albany, New York. So if anyone there is listening, make sure you tune into Channel 10 in Albany. Come on, he is the best weatherman there is. Anyway, so I was visiting him, and I wanted to record a video for it, and he had recorded a video for me before using all his phone,
Mm-hmm.
but he's got that news experience of knowing how to hold a camera and get a good shot, So, and Macon is such a beautiful town. And so we're like, well, let's do like a road trip video, It'll be kind of like just me having a nice day in Macon, and you'll film it, and that'll be that. And he did, and it was awesome. It was my favorite. Out of the 2 videos that I've done, I think that one's my favorite.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
And that just means we're gonna have to wait with bated breath on the third video when it comes out.
Right. He's like my go-to director. He's my Spielberg,
I love it. I love it.
His hat, Making Bacon hat.
Oh, nice. One more question. Where did you get the name for your music page, Alex Alavi's very funny music page on Facebook?
Well, I think it's very fancy, but.
Oh, is it fancy?
Oh, it's okay. Then, I'm not offended.
My bad. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, it's I don't know. It came from. I had a website called Alex Alavi's very fancy website. Now it's just called alexalavi.com. But
you're right. It's fine.
So
clearly
I just
read.
No hard feelings. Because I'm not a fancy guy. Clearly, I'm not very good at social media. Not as good as some other people. I don't know how to program a website very well. I programmed the first one all by myself. And I was like, well, it was a little, self-deprecating humor. I thought it was funny. I don't know.
Fair. Spoken like a true Persian. I love it.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for spending the last half hour with me and sharing your music and sharing your song with the world, because, at the end of the day, especially in these times of isolation and self-quarantine and craziness, music is such a powerful tool for helping us not just survive this, but thrive through it. And, you are somebody who clearly puts your money where your mouth is and walks the walk as opposed to just talking the talk. It's such an important skill to be able to.
That.
Well, it's true. Finding tools of resilience like songwriting is just really important and powerful. So thank you for showing up, not just for me, but for yourself and for your friends, family, and fans, of course. And for everybody who is watching this and wants to keep up to date with what the wonderful Alex Alavi is doing, Alex Alavi's very fancy music page on Facebook. What is your website, Alex?
It's alexalavi.com. ALAVI.
Nice.
Not to be confused. How to spell it.
Well, that's another conversation altogether. But it is on the screen there. It will be in the description of this video afterwards when I can't multitask. Apparently it's a myth. But in the meantime, thank you so much. You're amazing. I'm so grateful for your time and for your magic. And everybody else who's watching this, of course, make sure you go to Alex's YouTube page, like it, go to his Facebook page, like it, go to his website, sign up for his mailing list, and keep in touch. We need to keep the arts alive and support the fuck out of one another. If not now, when? If not you, then who? In the meantime, be good, be kind, spread love like it's going out of fashion. Be your own kind of superhero, and don't forget to turn out the lights as you sleep, because otherwise the electricity bill will go up and wintertime is crazy. I don't know. That was a weird sort of segue.
Oh no, I mean you want
I
to
was
save
just
money where you can, you know.
I was just thinking about like I don't know if you heard about the whole Texas, the electricity
course,
companies have, but the electricity companies in Texas have like escalated the electricity bills ridiculous. Like
Yeah,
some people are
I've heard
getting
of that.
it's crazy. So be a good human. Lead with love, guys.
Yeah,
Don't rip people off. Okay.
try not to.
Peace.